Okay, students, this is the second part of the foundation course, as the part one of the foundation course, that is fundamentals of economics and management. Okay, in first video we've already covered the basic introduction, and we've already said that we will cover the four parts of the subject matter of economics, that is consumption, production, exchange and distribution, in separate videos, right? Okay, now in the second video I'm going to cover in detail about the consumption part. Okay, this is the part one, foundation part one paper is called fundamentals of economics and management, and I have already said that the subject matter of economics is divided into four parts, that's is consumption, production, exchange and distribution, and we will talk about that in detail later. Okay, actually, talking about consumption, it is an act to use the goods or service to satisfy the wants. Okay, it is an act of using goods, not preserving, not investing into another amount or quantity. It's the act of using goods. You have to remember that the consumption is the act of using goods. Consumption is typically defined as the final purchase by an individual that are not investments of some sort. Okay, it should not be investments. If it is an investment, it cannot be considered as consumption. Okay, the final purchases that are not investments are generally termed, in basis of economics, are called consumption. Okay, and in other words, when you buy food, clothes, hair products, airplane tickets, a car, or anything that related to satisfy your needs, no, not actually needs, actually needs or wants, that's called consumption. Okay, for give an example, if someone buys a house, they are buying a house for to live in. So if they want to live in the house and they are buying that house, it is actually consumption. Okay, if we are buying a house to live in, is called consumption. Okay, this is consumption. This part is consumption, because the family wants to live in this house. Okay, now if he buys a house and rents it out and makes some profit from it, then that is considered as investment. Okay, this, when you buy a house and rents it out to other person and makes money out of it, that's not consumption, that's actually an investment. Okay, that's the difference between these two. And actually, I already said, there are many other products, like say for example, you're buying a car, you bought a car and you're using it for your family purposes, daily routines, etc., and then it is called consumption. Okay, now if you buy a car and use it as a taxi service and make some income out of it, then it's called investment. Okay, so if you buy a car to use it as a taxi for a business, that could be constituted as an investment. In short, the reason for purchase, okay, we already considered these 2 points. Act of using goods is called consumption, and the final purchases that are not investments are termed as consumption. Okay, and the third main point is the reason for purchase. In short, the reason for purchase determines whether something is viewed as an investment or as consumption. Okay, the reason for purchase. Okay, the reason for purchase, that in this case the reason for purchase is to live in, that's why it is called consumption, and in this case the purchase is to rent it out, so that's an investment. Okay, in this case too, this is consumption and this is investment. Okay, this is the reason of purchase matters. And okay, then we'll talk more about the subject, and we have to cover production, exchange and distribution in the subject matter of economics itself, and we'll cover that in next coming videos. And I'll also put the part 2, this is the part 2 in the link, and also I'll put the part 3 link in the description also, and I'll put the playlist link for the full ICMAI foundation course in the description, so that you can find it easily in my YouTube channel. So stay subscribed and be sure to check out new videos. Okay, thank you.